Hello everyone, my name is Untitled and today I'll be showing you how to form the Holy Roman Empire as Germany with Kaiserin Victoria as your empress. Now I've set up a game here already with nothing special going on except a civil war, and I want to show you this decision. This is the one that you need to get the Kaiserin in power. So what's over here? You need two things really. You need the Hindenburg not to be destroyed. That's a tricky thing, I'll get to that later. And the other thing is the opinion of the German Empire by the United Kingdom must at least be 100. Now, currently I'm in the Allies because I've done the focus alliance with the Shade. The opinion of the German Empire consists of several factors, and one of them is generated world tension. I just wanted to mention this because this means that you cannot go conquering the entirety of Europe to get all the territories for the Holy Roman Empire and then ask for those titles, because, well, you will never get that 100 opinion. There's a way around it. You can conquer all of Europe, including the United Kingdom, release the United Kingdom as a puppet, and then they'll have a good opinion of you. However, then we get back to the other point: the Hindenburg must not be destroyed. In order to ensure the survival of the Hindenburg, you need to take a decision called Sharpen Air Safety Regulations. That decision only appears when you are in a civil war. And if you start the civil war too late, the Hindenburg will already be destroyed. So you need to do that in about a year from game start. Usually the Hindenburg blows up mid-37. So what I'll be showing you is something different. I will be starting a new game as Germany. I will conquer Poland because of reasons, and then I will do the decision to get the Kaiserin back. Why will I conquer Poland? I'd better mention that. Imagine for a moment that I will flip to the Kaiserin now. Then I still need a lot of territories to actually form the Holy Roman Empire. For instance, I'd like to take the Netherlands. Well, I do need 50% world tension for that, and I don't need to be in the Allies, but that's a different matter. The world tension is too low right now, and we'd have to wait for Japan to actually raise it, or the Soviet Union. I'm Germany, usually the big engine of world tension, and I'm not doing much. That's why in my actual video I'll be showing you to raise world tension by just enough by conquering Poland, and that'll have some other advantages. So, having explained all that, let's get to it. Alright, so here we go. New game, Iron Man historical focuses. Start. Alright, let's do the setup first. I'm going to do the typical research with medium tank hulls. I'm not sure if I can actually do something with tanks, but I'd like to try. And electronics and construction techs. Let's start with constructing a few civilian factories here on the west side. And for production, just add the remaining factories to guns and finish all the existing Navy orders. I'm not going to do too much with Navy anytime soon. I'm deleting the 3 big hulls, they take too long to finish. I'm not taking a focus right now. I'm going to set up the army while the clock is ticking. I'm not taking a focus because I want to justify a war goal on Poland as soon as I can, and this will allow me to get it faster. In the meantime, train 23 cavalry division, 2 rows of this, and next priority.
Angetreten.
Split off the tanks and motorized in one group. We have 50 political power, so justify on Poland.
Angetreten.
Split off the other armies. We have 10 political power, and now we can go for army invasions.
Ihre Befehle.
This is all lovely efficient. And finish setting up this army.
Angetreten.
There's a very small armored column here. I'd just like to put them over here.
Ihre Befehle.
Add the mountaineer over here and the cavalry over there. At some point, these units can be added here and exercised to level 3.
Bereit.
Also a good point to pick up the Air Force. Got them all here. I meant the Air Force. Yeah, you guys. Come on. Exercise level 3. That will eat up my fuel, but we can take it. And don't forget to assign some generals, preferably some of the guys that will actually stay after the Civil War. Student will be one. Guderian. Witzleben is always a good one. And we'll put the Kesselring up in this part. Treaty with the USSR is done. Now I'll just take 4-year plan. All the necessary troops are in the field, just set them to exercise. Give them some battle plans for planning bonus. They won't be doing the heavy lifting. I have quite a bit of political power, I'm saving it up for now. Some of the best opening guys, the silent workhorse, they'll disappear after the Civil War. And we can't get all the others just yet. Four-year plan is done. I'm going for autarky now. That's just about done when the war against Poland is done, so it's probably the last focus before I do opposition. Alright, justification is almost done. So stop the exercises. The Air Force on Eastern Poland on support missions. You can even set the naval bombers on the lower Baltic Sea and on naval strike. And there's our justification. Let's go. And you can easily battle plan this. Your main army will crush here. I'd like to micro my tanks just to keep busy. Need a bit lower speed for that. See if I can cut off some Polish divisions here. Alright, autarky is done. I have full confidence I will finish the Poles. So I'm doing the opposition focus now. And here we are. Poland has been taken. Just take all states. Alright, next up will be the Civil War. So probably best to set Poland to local police force. And we're going to use some cheesy tactics here, so delete your entire army. And keep a close eye on the opposition focus. Alright, we have 10 days left until the Civil War fires. There's a few things to do here. I already deleted my army. I'm also going to delete the Air Force. Next up, we will go to Spain, Nationalist Spain, start Lend-Lease, and send them everything. The easiest way to do this is to click something you want to send the guns, click on once, and then click this button here, select all in your stockpile, and repeat for everything you want to send them. It won't be gone forever. Once the Civil War fires, you will cancel the Lend-Lease and get everything back. That way it will not get split between you and the other side. This is probably one of the cheapest tricks that I know. We're sending them all the tanks, and we're sending all of the Air Force. And here we are. The Wehrmacht officers challenge Hitler. Let's pick a new focus first. And just go for the civilian factories here. Very important. As soon as the Civil War fires, sharpen air safety regulations. This will ensure the Hindenburg survives. There's 325 political power. Go to war economy now, that'll help. And go to extensive conscription, because once we're not aligned and at peace later on, we will not be able to do so. Next up, take the speed down a bit, pause the game, and select these 24 divisions. They're the free divisions, not really any worth, but they can hold this line, so just assign them to the line and assign them to a general. Witzleben will be fine, and assign a field marshal. Now you want to train your army, and we need stuff to do that. Modify the Lend-Lease with Spain, clear all, send, and have a look at the stockpile. Yes, we have a civil war. A few ticks later, everything's back. Now we can train an army. However, if we train units, we can train too many at the same time. So I'm going to create a new template. Infantry, 1 infantry battalion. Give them this cute little face, lowest priority, and then we'll call them Tiny. Because I stole this idea from Taurior, who used the same name. 1 battalion, and you can train to your heart's desire here. I'll train 24 of these. There probably won't be that needed, but it's good to have them. I also like to train about 6 more just for the motorized and armored divisions. Deploy your air force. Now save yourself some trouble later on and just put them on air wings of 100 from the start. And allow these to fill up. And the tactical bombers. We barely have any fuel, so I'm not exercising these. I'll use them later anyway. Now, what's another cheesy thing? Because we have conquered Poland, many of the AI divisions will railroad over to this side to start invading my empty countries over there. That means a lot of holes will open up here, and you should exploit that. So just start walking in here, pin that division, and get moving. Probably best not to battle plan this part. Unpause, and we're off. Double check, did I take the decision? Yes, I did. Now do be aware that once you're moving into enemy territory here, don't go too far or you might get encircled. Still, this is a very good way to split apart the country into 2 halves. An encirclement here. Alright, this always happens with the Civil War. Please note that my divisions have unassigned themselves from this front line. They're already moving out. I don't want them to move out, I want them to pin this division. Also assign him back here, and yeah, he's not going anywhere. And this will sort itself out later. And we can deploy our first 24 divisions. Assign them to the field marshal, give them a general, like Kurt here, and switch them over to the Infanterie Divisie. I also like to change the template icon so I can keep them apart from the Landsturmregiment. I'm also assigning these guys and splitting them up. These guys I will turn into motorized, and these guys I will turn into tanks. Hopefully I will not be needing them and finish the war before then, but well, just in case. Now I can see that these units are still at only 20% manpower. They'll slowly tick up, and once they do, they'll be sent to this front line. And this front line here, we'll just assume they'll manage. There are no victory points except for Augsburg, and we'll get that one eventually. The tanks have already filled themselves out. They're a very small template, but I'll let them help out down here. The infantry is at 60%. That'll be enough to at least hold, so I'm putting them on the front line of northern Germany and give them an order. Motorized needs a few more ticks to fill up. Let's see if I can take Berlin, and also set a unit to walk over to Breslau. Our troops have walked into Breslau, and that means the end of the Civil War. It was done in exactly the time of one focus, so now we can secure the new state. I'm just going to take the stability plus here, and I'll delete the army again, because soon enough we will need to be as weak as possible. After the Civil War, you will want to open your construction tab and assign all civilian factories to the top of your repair queue. It's a lot of them that are almost damaged, and you want them fixed as soon as possible so you can start building stuff again. I also have 150 political power now, and I will use them to do all of the raids. I need 40% non-aligned support later on to continue with a certain focus. This is the easiest way to do it. That also takes me some stability. And here we are, the Hindenburg Incident. The Hindenburg survived. Secure the new state is done. Revive the Kaiserreich. Once the first civilian factories that I ordered are done, I'm going to switch to military factories. I plan to go to war with the Soviets quite early, so we'll need some more production before then. Japan declared war on China. That's not our concern this time. However, it raises world tension above 40%, which allows us to create a faction with Austria. We don't particularly need to have our own faction. In fact, we need to delete it later. But if we get Austria entered our faction, they will get a referendum, or they will push for a referendum to join us. And well, it's free German stuff we can get. I'm not going to say no to that. I'm also saving up political power for now. Revived Kaiserreich is done, and now return the Kaiser. This requires 40% non-aligned support, and with my raids I'm at 41%. Good timing. Now Return the Kaiser will open up an event for the Netherlands, where we demand the return of our Kaiser in exile. They will say no because we have deleted our entire army, making them think they're stronger than us. That's usually quite difficult because the Netherlands is quite weak, but with no army, well, even they will think they're better. Meanwhile, the Austrian pro-German sentiment soars. Yes, the lesser German solution was a mistake. We'll get you free Austria. Well, not free Austria, but free Austrian clay. And here we are. Austrian people votes for unification. You get a bunch of free units. Don't forget to delete them right away. You also get some extra factories and just assign them to where you think they're needed. also going to get some rubber. I'm also going to build just a few synthetics. Return of the Kaiser event is here. Let's see what happens. Netherlands prevents return of the Kaiser. You can then get a war goal against the Netherlands, or exactly you declare war, but we're going to accept the alternative, which is not Wilhelm II, but Wilhelm III. You need him to get to the Kaiserin. Now we have two decisions to take: reinstate Prince Wilhelm's right of succession, formality really, and modernized succession laws. Those both need to be clicked. You can also get Paul van Lettow of Vorbeck. Paul van Lettow Vorbeck. Probably pronouncing that wrong. Look this guy up. He was an absolute legend in the First World War. Let's, by the way, continue with expatriate the communists, because we're not done yet. Also, this is a good time to start training an actual army, one that we will not have to delete. So I'm going to train 4 rows of 24 tinies and set them to priority. I will also train, I think, 8 tinies to convert to motorized and tanks, just to have a little bit of mobility. We will be taking on the Soviet Union with primarily infantry, and that will do just fine. Probably just going to branch out into armored tech to take on the Allies later, but the main focus should be the Air Force in a little while. After expatriate the communists, accept British naval dominance. After accept British naval dominance, I'm going for an alliance with the Shade, which will give us an alliance with the Allies. I should probably improve relations to see if I can get that to max out, and I should also remove my own faction so I can actually join someone else's. I'm currently training 72 infantry divisions on the Soviet border. They will probably be the next enemy, and I'm training 1 extra army as a reserve on the French border. The French might turn communist, and that is not a good thing for me. Just put some defensive general on there.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
An alliance with the Shade is done. We are now in the Allies. For our next focus, we will do a sea to the Eastern Front, so we can access all these lovely guarantees. But first we will have request restoration of British titles. Can't use that just yet. We are not at 100 opinion with the United Kingdom. Let's see, we can guarantee their independence. That'll get them on 100. And then we can do request restoration of British titles. Let that tick for a while. British government accepts request. An excellent ID. We shall send a liaison. We will do that. And wait for a few more days. The Hindenburg aflame in London. The entire royal family has been killed when the Hindenburg finally crashed in London. Well, not the entire family. The Kaiserin Victoria is still alive. She is now coronated as the Empress of the German Empire. Here we are. Victoria is here. This also means we can revive the Roman Empire. There are many ways to go about this. You can ramp up and just kill everything on this list. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to take out the Soviet Union first and put myself in an invincible position. Start with an intelligence agency. Also, at some point I'll need Italy, and I can simply get Italy by guaranteeing these guys. At this point you can also leave the Allies again and create a faction, for instance, with Romania. We'll reduce Central Powers again. Now, Romania is useful in this regard. They can help with the Soviets, or you can just sit menacingly on their border, forcing the Soviets to guard this part. Do be aware that on historical focuses, Romania will always cede Bessarabia, so at some point you will suddenly have extra stuff in your backyard. Let's do localized training centers and see if we can get a Soviet spy. I'll also need an additional army of infantry. Siege of the Eastern Front is done. Safeguard the Baltic will hand out guarantees to all the Baltic states. That will just give us more inroads into the Soviet Union. We captured an Italian spy. Double agent, only Italian. No, we'll just get the Soviet guy. Safeguard the Baltic is done. We are now guaranteeing all the Baltic states, and what I'd like to do now is go for Finland as well. More guarantees are better. Some of these guys immediately want to join the faction. I just let them. Latvia too? Yes, Latvia too. Estonia's not quite ready yet. Put them on improved relations. As soon as your spy in Moscow has reached 50% Intel network, put them to quiet Intel network to prevent them from getting captured. This is also a good time to have a look at how good the supply is over here. No harm in adding a few layers everywhere. And make sure all that lovely infrastructure is on the top of the priority. Support the Finns is done. Now I can go for this branch here, which is very useful, but I'd like to get my 5th research slot, which is way overdue anyway. Finland accepts our offer of guarantee, and they also would like to join the faction. We have a second spy. Now it's a good time to get that Italian guy. He doesn't have to be very good anyway. Prepare a collaboration government and set operations to priority. With all these faction members becoming spy master, we'll get you an extra spy. Maybe I can get another one that looks just like this, right? I have a few trucks and quite a few light tanks in stock, so I'm going to edit the light tank template. It's pretty crappy at this moment. This isn't much better, but it's something. Our stockpiles are becoming pretty good. Let's see how much artillery I'll need to make this slightly more offensive template. It's not going to work. Probably just make one army more elite, give them a scary icon. And give them a different name. Also, they can have recon and artillery. And just pick someone who can actually use those.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
An army from von Witzleben here can switch to the elite template. I want to make the biggest encirclements here, encircling parts of the Soviet army against the Romanian border.
Befehle.
And don't forget to exercise them. November 1939, and the Soviet Union, no, Italy is justifying doing war with Greece. Wasn't counting on them to be first. Alright, Italy has declared war on Greece. I was actually counting on the Soviet Union to do something against the Baltics or Finland well before 1940. Sadly, they did not. Well, things never go as you plan. Let's just declare war on Italy then, and send in all of my air force to help out. These are my tactical bombers. Need to break the Alpine regions before we can take out Italy. And I do plan to take out Italy. I already moved down my armored and motorized, and I can invite Greece to my faction. Italians are attacking me first. Well, that's always good.
Achtung!
But I will break them here in the Alps.
Befehle!
Yes, this is of course exactly what I was hoping for. The Soviets are attacking me, or at least Finland, while I'm busy with Italy. No worries. We have full armies on the Soviet border. As soon as the Finns call for help, they can get it.
Bereit zum Ausrücken!
Also managed to cut off a piece of Italy here.
Ihre Befehle?
Now I'm busy on two fronts here, but this is still a good time to have a look if maybe some encirclements are a possibility, because there are just
Befehle!
not a lot of troops here.
Befehle!
So grabbing Minsk would not be a bad idea.
Achtung!
And just make it difficult for them, same as with Italy. Alright, Italy's looking better and better. And we are even making some Soviet encirclements.
Ihre Befehle?
I'm on the verge of taking Palermo. That will take out Italy. Bulgaria never joined the war. And only Greece got a little bit of war score here, so probably not to worry. They might take Albania. I'm not too worried. Let's do make sure I take any territories that might even be needed for the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire. And that will be this stuff. And turn Dodecanese, Northern Imperius. You can take them. I'll puppet the rest and hand them the rest of what used to be Italy. Alright, that was Italy. No problem there. World tension is boosting quite a bit. Now I'm going to attack the Soviet Union. Here we are again. I've made a nice cutoff here on the south of the Soviet Union. And basically that's my tactic for the upcoming rest of the war. Cut off little pieces of Soviet and wipe them out. My motorized are also on the front, nicely going to town, making small encirclements. And never forget to actually finish the encirclements by killing everyone inside. Now I'm going to skip large portions of this. This is really not that interesting to look at. But pretty soon I'll be designing my medium tanks, and I have a feeling people will want to see that. Alright, that's the medium tank. Let's build it. Advanced medium tank chassis. And not too much at home. All this stuff, just get a medium cannon. Two-man turrets, fine. Radio, basic radio. And additional machine guns. Christie suspension. Welded armor is fine. And a diesel engine. Get it to a reasonable speed. While still having some armor. 8 kilometers an hour. That sounds fine. And it's called a Panther. Now that's assigned to factories. I had some in reserve. I need more of this stuff, and we're producing. I'll switch the template later on. And here we have the problem. Soviet Union gets Bessarabia. Well, it's still cut off from the rest, of course. So shouldn't be that much of a problem. Now the goal is, at some point I will have enough encirclements that there is almost no Soviet army left, at which point I will simply battle plan to victory. We're getting there. 2 million casualties versus 400,000. It's almost springtime. That'll be the time to push for Moscow and finish this. I've set up an extra army to actually take care of the Caucasus. A lot of victory points there too. But the supply here isn't anything special. In other news, France has joined the Chinese United Front. Stranger things have happened, of course. Closing in on Moscow. Well, I've encircled Moscow, that's bound to help. Supply here is, well, a challenge. Moscow is mine. I'm at 97% capitulation. The Soviet Union is no more. I have a triple collaboration government, so I'm just going to puppet them. They might have a few states left. Before I forget, I'm going to take Mongolia. That's it. My allies took exactly nothing. And we have a beautiful Russian puppet. United States joins the Allies. Well, that makes it somewhat more challenging later on. But it doesn't matter. We are now strong enough to be able to handle everything. I should probably just build some infrastructure on the good tiles to lower their autonomy to integrated puppets. Maybe even annex them later. Alright, that concludes the campaign versus the Soviets. Well, the Allies are now pretty strong. It doesn't matter, I can handle them. Going for Sudetenland next. I'm also justifying on Switzerland because of time saving. Now, no doubt they'll pick up more guarantees. France doesn't really matter, they're in the Chinese United Front. Well, I can always grind them a bit for war score, and I do need a few French territories. They will not get guaranteed at all. Czechs might get guaranteed by the Brits. And once these wars are running, I'll also try to pick up the Benelux. Alright, I'm not going to war with the Czechs. This I did not expect. I fully expected them to join the Allies or even the Chinese United Front. But, well, I'm not going to say no to free stuff. Let's get set up for Switzerland. They are next. And here we go against Switzerland. Switzerland also didn't get guaranteed.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Don't expect to get that lucky when you're trying this run. Finally, the Brits are guaranteed in Luxembourg. My luck was bound to run out sometime, of course. Alright, my justification for Luxembourg and the Netherlands are done. I can add another justification for France. That's 45 days. I'll be busy after a long silence. Let's just get this over with. Declare a war on Luxembourg, declare a war on the Netherlands.
Alright.
And just take them out. That means war with the Allies, but we can take them.
Alright.
Also, we have a majestic subfleet, and I will set them to convoy raiding pretty much around the United Kingdom. Alright, Netherlands are gone.
Befehle.
Let's finish the setup for Luxembourg, for Belgium, sorry.
Achtung.
Let's go against France then.
Achtung.
There's surprisingly few troops here.
Achtung.
Let's put my tanks to work. Come on. Now, does France still have disjointed government? They do, actually.
Getreten.
And that was France already.
Achtung.
Greece decided to declare war on Turkey. They got the Allies on their back, and I'm not going to help them just yet. My priority is to form the Holy Roman Empire, and I'm almost there. What do I still need? I just need Belgium. Well, I'm almost there, like I said. Let's just finish this round. Kick out any and all naval invasions and leave it at that. Alright, here we go. The war goal for Belgium is complete. Declare war instantly. They join the Allies. Just set the battle lines to go, and I'm also justifying on Hungary because they're, well, in the way. The fall of Tokyo. That seems to be a temporary problem. However, well, can't be bothered right now. I have different stuff to handle. Belgium capitulates, and with that I have all the territories I need to revive the Holy Roman Empire. And there we are. We have a beautiful new flag, a new tag, the Holy Roman Empire, and we are pretty much the superpower of the world. Now, you might say, I'm at war with the Allies, the United States is in the war, this isn't the best position to be in, and, well, you'd be right, I guess. But then again, this game is about conquering the world. It's entirely possible to do that with the Roman Empire at this time. So just get cracking. I think I'll continue this game privately, maybe post some screenshots of where I ended up, or where I went horribly wrong. But, you know, I think this is going to be quite successful indeed. If you like this video, please comment, like, subscribe, etc. And I'll see you next time. Do leave suggestions for next time in the comments. Bye bye.